Although not widely known about, the Children's Blizzard, or the Schoolhouse Blizzard of 1888, was one of the worst blizzards the U.S. has ever seen, ranking 5th among the nation's worst winter storms. The Children's Blizzard struck the Dakota Territory on January 12th and is most tragically known and named for the amount of school children that were killed as they ventured out into the deadly storm trying to make their way home. This is their story. The morning of January 12, 1888, was unseasonably warm. There had been several winter storms in the weeks preceding, and everyone in the Dakota Territory welcomed the spring-like weather. Parents sent their children to school in light jackets and shoes, thinking that the children wouldn't need their heavy winter garments on such a nice day. And a beautiful morning it was. The children played outside and soaked in the sunlight that had been sorely missed. But just after the children finished up their mid-morning recess and resumed their lessons, a forceful wind slammed against the walls of the tiny schoolhouse. Everyone rushed to the windows and, to their horror, saw nothing but white. The spontaneity of the storm was truly a freak of nature. One moment the air was calm and warm, but within 3 minutes the temperature dropped 18 degrees, and treacherous winds created a whiteout of almost zero visibility. The teachers of the schoolhouses had to make a quick decision. Should they send the children out into the storm so they could try to make it home before the storm got worse, or should they keep the children in the schoolhouse until the storm passed? Neither of the options were good, seeing how the only heat source in the schoolhouse was a wood-burning stove, and a few wouldn't last long. The decision was varied, but many teachers decided to send their children home, hoping to beat out the storm. The children put on their light jackets, wishing they had brought the gloves, scarves, and boots, and ventured out into the storm. It didn't take long for the children to realize that venturing out was a bad idea. The children linked arms so they wouldn't get separated, but the ferocious winds made it impossible to see even a few feet in front or behind them. There's a story of 3 brothers who were in a storm, and the youngest let go of his brother's hand only for an instant to wipe the ice away from his eyes, but when he reached back out, his brother was gone. He couldn't see anything, and was lost alone in the storm. Some children did make it home, others taking refuge in barns and amongst trees or in hay bales, but those were the fortunate ones. The lack of visibility made it impossible to see anything, and all orientation was lost. As evening came, the temperatures continued to drop. With a wind chill of negative 40 degrees, countless children and teachers lost in the storm contracted hypothermia, which eventually led to their death. By the time morning broke, hundreds of children lay dead across the Dakota prairie. Although the hellish storm ceased, another hell began for the parents and families of those who were lost out in the storm. Giant search parties began, and many of the searchers themselves suffered from frostbite and mild cases of hypothermia. Sadly, almost all victims were found dead, and many of those that weren't died from complications in the following days. Oftentimes, victims were found only yards away from a house or a homestead, truly proving how minimal the visibility was. 235 people died that day, most of them students and teachers. A hush fell over the Midwest as a wave of sadness, loss, and mourning took over. The Children's Blizzard of 1888 will always be remembered in history, but it is more important that those beautiful children never be forgotten.